Welcome to Fireside Fitness, a place for real conversations with the people shaping the fitness industry today. I'm Rochelle Volk, your host, and today we're talking about how your gym or studio can move beyond offering just workouts and build a brand and experience that truly connects, inspires, and stands the test of time. I'm joined by Shay and Barry Kostabi, the founders of Fitcarma. With decades of experience on the gym floor and behind the scenes, they work with studio owners and fitness leaders to turn workouts into powerful, emotionally driven brand experiences. Welcome, Barry and Shay. Very excited for this conversation today.
Thank
Thank
you. What a
you.
nice intro.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, I could say so much more, and obviously I've worked with you myself, just for everybody that's watching today. If you are looking for someone to help you with your brand experience right up the top, brand experience, class experience, this is the spot for you. So I think there's going to be a ton of value people will get from listening to this today. And I guess just to start, one of the things I love hearing you guys talk about is you often say that fitness isn't about selling just workouts anymore. It's about creating or designing experiences. So what does that actually mean in practice? Maybe we can take it to Shay first.
I was hoping you'd ask Barry first.
We can go to Barry first. That's fine.
No, it's okay. Listen, this is something we say all the time that we've been doing this fitness thing for decades and decades, particularly in the United States. And the angle is always to educate people, and empower them with knowledge on why they need to work out for their health, for their longevity, for their happiness. And we've never really moved past like the 20% of population working out mark, right? So that tactic isn't really working. Most people feel like exercise is a chore, right? It's something they have to figure out how to work into their schedule. It's challenging. There's stats out there that say like 56% of the population feel like they need to get fit before they go to a gym, which is like, what's that saying about the shower? I love that quote. Like,
Saying it's like saying you're too dirty to take a shower.
that doesn't make any sense
I love it.
at all. But that's our fault. That's not their fault. And I also think there's language and messaging coming out of the industry that feels judgmental, punishing. It's like you need to be disciplined, you need to find motivation, right? Like there's that whole camp, and it can feel really overwhelming. And what we know about any experience, anything that you're going to put your money down for, is that it has to feel aligned with your identity, with your core values. It needs to be emotionally driven. It needs to be something that you want to do and that you desire beyond the necessity. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about, um, I'm sure you've heard this or see it online. It's like, doing your workout is just like brushing your teeth. And I'm like, I hate brushing my teeth. Sometimes I'm like, I have to do this twice a day for my entire life for 100 years.
Yeah. Or bad things
Like,
will happen to me.
right? Like
Right.
that's not motivating enough, right? To equate it to some daily hygiene practice that you have to do. So there's that. And then I think Barry has some thoughts on competitive market and everybody selling the same thing.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we hopped on with you. And, you know, something I like to say all the time is the reason people exercise has nothing to do with exercise. So, my answer to this question is that I don't know if we've ever been actually selling workouts.
Mm,
I just think that workouts in general have, over time, over decades, become more experiential. And they certainly have become more accessible. So I think the shift that we're seeing towards workouts being more about creating an experience is just a natural reaction to fitness being available anywhere.
hmm
And the difficulty that you have as a business owner differentiating yourself from a business down the street that's offering the same kind of workout versus the same kind of workout
hmm
that's offered online. How do I, as someone who's interested in
hmm
exercising, determine which one I should do? Which goes back to what Shay was saying. I have to feel an emotional connection. I have to feel like that type of workout is going to bring me closer to that aspirational identity that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think even in our experience, some clients that we work with actually are creating exceptional experiences, but the messaging is still selling the workout, right? I think it's becoming challenging to figure out how to share what it is that you're actually doing. And as Barry said, with the proliferation, right? Like all of these studios popping up everywhere. You used to be able to just, build it and they will come, as they say. You could put a sandwich
Totally.
board outside and you could pull in people. And
Yeah.
we saw that shift during the pandemic. Most business owners that we worked with 4 or 5 years ago are like, I've never had to do marketing. I've never had to market my business. I just
Yeah, which is
opened,
wild.
right? I just opened the studio. People were like, "What's that?" And they walk in the door because they were the only one, or they were the
Hmm.
first, or one of few, and now they're one of many, and they just don't have that skill set to communicate what's actually happening, behind those doors.
Yeah, you guys have a great analogy. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something about selling the sand. Can you talk
Yeah.
about what that means?
Totally. The saying is sell the sandy beach, not the flight. And that's what we do in the industry. We sell the flight. We sell the fact that it's reformer Pilates on a megaformer, or it's indoor cycling in a dark room, you name it, right? We sell the vehicle that gets us to the thing that we ultimately want,
And forget to talk about the destination.
right? And
Listen, the vehicle is important.
that's what I was just about to
Yeah,
I
say.
think
we need to
Yes.
know
people
how we're
miss
going to travel there.
I
Yes.
think people mistake, they simplify the statement too much, like what airline just came out with the family sleeping beds,
Ooh,
right?
yeah.
And they're talking about like all of the features and how cool it is, and you can all sleep together and watch a TV, and it's affordable, and it's like that's so cool. If
Hmm.
they never talk about the destinations that you can go to and the type of vacation that you're going to have when you get there, who cares? I don't actually want to sleep on an airplane. you
Right.
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
so
totally. Not
both
the best
matter.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both matter.
Yeah, which makes what we do with our clients so interesting because say you want to ultimately help people regain a sense of confidence in their ability to move in their body, right? That's the same as traveling to New York. There are a lot of different ways to get to New York, right? You
Hmm.
can you can drive and have that kind of experience. You can
Take a
ride a
train,
train,
fly,
you could fly.
can walk if you want to.
You could hitchhike. Uh, but what's interesting with the clients that we work with is all of them have a slightly different belief about the best way to get there. And there are also a lot of different destinations out there. So by focusing on these two things together, where you're taking people and the unique way that you believe is best to get them there, creates a story around your business that is going to be really, really attractive to people beyond come jump in our bus. It's the best bus out there.
Come
We
hitchhike with
have,
us. Yeah.
yeah, we have these kinds of wheels on the
Yeah.
bus, which is the same as saying we have state of the art equipment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody actually cares so much about that as the story that you're inviting them into.
Yeah, well, that's why the two of you together is so powerful. And we'll get into it here because we'll talk a little bit more individually about both of your work. But Shay, you being that experience design and really, making that vehicle make sense for where they're going, and then of course Barry helping more with that North Star and understanding where they're going. So what a powerful combination the two of you have there, power couple. So yeah, question I'm going to ask it to Barry here, just a little bit more around branding, because I feel like we started to touch on it, and differentiation. So more studios popping up than ever before. I feel like every week a new Pilates studio opens up in my city here in Vancouver, which is
Right.
amazing. But many gym owners who are struggling to differentiate, I guess, what are the biggest mistakes that you see when it comes to branding fitness, and how can people actually start to separate themselves from everybody else out there in a way that's meaningful for them and intentional?
That's a great question. And it really connects to what we were just talking about making the mistake of trying to sell the workout that you offer. And you know what? I totally get it. As a fitness professional, Rochelle, I'm sure you can relate to this too. When you fall in love with a way of moving, over time, you start to associate the way that you feel and the way that you're living your life with that thing. So what do? You open a business, you open a studio, and you sell that thing. What I'm saying is that over time, you kind of become blind to the thing that you know so well, right? So it's easy to make the assumption that people are going to hold the same value for that kind of workout that you love that you do, but that's not actually the case. They hold no value for it. They know nothing about it. So we have to recognize that the people that we're speaking to are in a position where they're being presented with all of these different options all the time. And I like to say that it's the same as going to the store and trying to pick out a new blender for yourself. You go to the aisle where the blenders are and you look at the wall, there's blenders and blenders and blenders. How do you pick? You're going to pick the one that looks nice, that would
Yeah,
look nice on your
in the
counter,
cutest color.
Yeah, or that
right?
your friend has because you know that it's your friend trusts it.
Exactly.
Or
Or that's at the price point that you want to pay. And when you focus on the workout, that's the position that you put yourself in.
yeah,
You're commoditizing what it is that you do. And the way to stand out is to have fancier amenities or better equipment, right? Or you name it, same situation as the blenders. So to separate yourself, to differentiate yourself, we have to start to talk about more of a story.
mhm,
What is the identity that you're helping people step into? How can you position your workout as the perfect vehicle to get there?
mhm.
This is ultimately what Steve Jobs figured out how to do, which is what took Apple to the moon, because he started out trying to sell the features of the computers. And that didn't go over so well. But as soon as he started that Think Different campaign and started to talk to people about if you buy this computer, you identify as someone that's going to change the world,
Mm,
like Nelson Mandela and Gandhi and Picasso and all of those faces that they used for that Think Different
right.
campaign. That's when he started to create a brand and buy in, and people were buying the computer not necessarily because of the features, but because of who they wanted to become. They believed in that journey that the brand was promising to
Yeah.
take them on. So you need to do the same thing with our fitness businesses.
Yeah.
I have like a sort of different angle on this. I was thinking this morning about Space Cycle, which is where Barry and I worked and taught in China,
Oh wow.
and how I essentially blindly took this job, right? So they reached out to me on LinkedIn. I went to Taiwan first, and then they said, could you come back and help us open into China? Right. So I was like their freelance consultant and their master trainer. I moved across the world to work with that brand because of a hashtag, which was directly tied into their mission and their values. And that hashtag was moved by music. Right? It was
I love it.
everywhere. And so the business was opened by like the ex-VP of Sony Music for Southeast Asia, who had connections to everybody in the music industry. So we would host these events. We had access to album drops before other people got them. We had in-house DJs curating music for the instructors. We had live DJ experiences, and every modality under that brand, and I think there were seven at one time, were designed to be moved by music so that anybody who walked through those doors knew that like that was the experience they were going to have. So when we launched indoor cycling in Beijing, there were a few other small studios, but like most people had never experienced a class like that. So the first classes that I taught, I had people coming in jeans, sweatshirts, silk shirts, ties, suits, hats with cameras, thinking
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm just going to sit in this room and be moved by music, not understanding like the physical component of the class.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Okay, so that was frustrating at first because we had to teach them, and I had
This
to
is
figure out,
participatory.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is so okay, there was a miss there, right? Because it's like come here if you want to be moved by music, but you know what? All of those people started coming back. They're like this space is welcoming, it is inclusive, there's so much variety, there's like places to hang out. The instructors are so friendly and talented and aspirational, and this music is sick, and I'm going to go buy myself a pair of bike shorts and figure out how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
And was just thinking about that this morning because I was on another podcast yesterday where we were talking a little bit about how difficult it is to find instructors. right? Or how, or the competition, right? Like all these studios are opening. So same idea. And uh and I'm like, well, yes, it is hard. It's tough out there. But when you create an iconic brand that's more than hype, that's rooted in identity and values and speaks to people on that emotional level beyond the workout, people are going to start showing up. You're going to start finding the clients that want to be a part of that, and you're going to start finding the team that wants to help you support that. It has to be more than like the new Pilates studio on the corner. I'm working with another brand right now that just opened. They are crushing it, and they're like, we're more than fitness. Like the classes we offer are just the vehicle to get there. And I said, okay, well, tell me about that. Like, how are you more than fitness? um and a big part of their sort of brand ethos is meeting people where they're at and really making them feel seen and making them feel like they belong. But then they have these other activations outside, similar to Rochelle, the kind of things that you do, right? That I know
Yeah.
that they have a book club. They do weekly walks. So
Yeah.
somebody might come in
Community.
through the book club and say, "Oh, I don't know if hit Pilates is for me. That sounds like heated hit Pilates. That sounds scary." Well, you come to the book club, you make friends. Your friend is like, "Please come to class with me on Friday." "Oh, I don't know if that's for me." Just try, right? And if the class is imbued with those values, right? If the instructors are trained to really make people feel welcome and seen and supported, and has that same quality, that essence as the book club or the beach walks, right? That's going to come through. And they might think like, I didn't think that like hit Pilates was going to be for me, but I could do this because my people are here and I feel seen and I feel belong. It happened to me. I joined a circuit training gym. I hate circuit training. I hate it so much. I still hate it.
Yeah, I
I
heard you
joined
share
it.
that story on on one of your podcasts, and I loved it because it just shows that you never know. Maybe there's a certain modality that you don't gravitate towards, but because of how the place made you feel, how the team, the staff made you feel, how it was laid out, the music, it's all part of that experience,
Yeah.
right?
Listen,
Yeah.
the logo's not cute. Okay. And it's next to an airport. There's nothing sexy about this brand.
Yeah,
It's the people, it's the energy in the room. And then I want to show up for that. And guess what? I'm getting freaking strong. That feels good too.
yeah,
And so it starts to turn you on to all of those things that we try as the professionals to communicate, right? We need back to, what's out. We people long for belonging. They long to be seen. I think first and foremost, and they want to feel that alignment in their identity and sort of like this the aspirational identity that they're moving towards. That's first. Once they get that emotional buy-in, then you can start talking to them about bone density. You can start talking to them about longevity, weight loss, body recomposition. You can start talking to them about those goals.
Maybe.
Maybe if that's
yeah,
what, and maybe they don't want that, and that's fine
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's why we like to talk with our clients about how they're positioning their class as the perfect prescription
Yeah.
or vehicle, because a class can be so many
Yeah.
things. It doesn't just have to be about sweat and burning calories and VO2 max
Mhm.
or bone density, right? Maybe that is the perfect prescription for those things,
Yeah.
but maybe you have designed it in a way to be the perfect prescription to feel connected with the people around you.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that experience design piece. And I know that you guys both touch on this, and especially Shay, you work with teams, studios to build their sort of playbook when it comes to their classes. You've trained instructors. I'm sure you've helped build teams and things like that.
Yes.
If somebody is opening a gym or a studio for the first time and they're looking to start building this roster of like superstars, essentially, how do you find those people, and is it something that people inherently have, or how do you help them take their brand ethos, their values, everything that maybe Barry has helped them build, worked on with them, and translate that to their team so that that experience does come across? Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of studios, that's where they miss it, and that's where they lose people, is nobody knows your name. Yeah, the workout's great, it's trendy, everyone looks great, everyone looks hot, it's a beautiful room, but then not a single person knows your name, nobody says hi to you. It just feels
Yeah.
very, very
Transactional.
cold, right?
Yeah.
Transactional. Absolutely.
Why would you keep going to like a friend's house or a neighbor's house if they never looked you in the eye or said your name or knew anything about you after weeks and months and years? Why would you keep showing up? There's literally no reason to do
Yeah.
that. Doesn't matter what sick shape you get in. Eventually, you're going to be like, I feel lonely.
Yeah.
I'm
It has
around
to
all
go
these
deeper.
people. and I feel
Yeah.
lonely. So yeah, first step is getting super clear on that brand ethos, your brand story and your identity so
Your
that you
North
can,
Star.
yeah, so you can communicate that to your team, because that informs everything. That informs every choice you make in your business, including what type of person you're looking for. You need to hire for culture and character, not ability and skill and certifications.
Okay, let's talk
Only
about that more because I feel like now everyone's like, you have to be the best Pilates instructor. You have to be the best,
you
you know,
absolutely
yeah.
do not.
Can you teach that?
You cannot teach character. You cannot teach culture. You can support professionalism and some of those other things, but you need, the first step is like in your recruiting sort of funnel. Where are you looking for people? What type of people are you looking for? What are the standards of excellence? What are the expectations of the team? What is your communication style, and how does that first person fit into your ecosystem first? Skills can be trained. I am telling you, I have trained probably thousands of instructors. Anybody can learn to teach a group fitness class. Anybody can learn the foundational principles of training and group fitness. You can. It's so easy. It's so easy. The part that is not easy is presence, persona, connection, um, resonance, uh, just like the desire to create an experience, the desire to really help people, to make people feel seen. That has to exist in that person already. And there are different shades of that, and there are different ways of and styles of doing that. So you want to find somebody who ideally is aligned in the brand's core values,
Exactly.
and where you're taking the members, like what type of people you're helping, and where you're taking them, and then the how, the the what, the modality, and how it's executed, the experience is 100% informed by the why. You can't, that is the piece that is skipped all the time. Even with some of the best brands who have a really great brand story, they forget how to that needs to be communicated to the team. They think that like, oh, we have this really awesome social media and this beautiful website and you've experienced the classes and you get it. They don't get it. They absolutely do not get it. They're looking through their lens of the world and their point of view. And if you just say show up and teach this class, they're going to interpret your mission, your vision in their own way.
That's right.
They need to be guided and directed on how to do that. So that's step one. And then step two, on a more like tangible, like the actual experience, like on the client experience side, like what makes people want to come back, is really thinking about, right? So you come from this North Star, your point of view, and then getting, there's two pieces, two major pieces for any experience, which is sensory, right? What do I see? What do I hear? What do I feel? What do I smell? Right? Like, how can you get the senses involved? uh, what choices are you going to make to give a certain quality to the experience? So the way a room is designed informs how people show up, right? You
Yeah.
know this.
It's
You
all
walk in,
intentional. It has
yeah,
to be intentional.
yeah, you
Yeah.
walk into a yoga studio and the music is quiet and the lights are dim and there's candles in the corner, and you walk in with more reverence. The room is dark, there's neon lights, the music is pumping. You're like, yeah, let's go. You change, right? The doorway into your class is a portal, and you put people through that, and they're going to behave the way that you show them how to behave, not tell. You have to show them and they have to feel it. That's step one. And they know immediately, like, oh, I really like it in here. This feels like me. Or they're like, wow, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And it's
and
not
then
gonna be
the
for everybody, right? It's not gonna,
right.
yeah.
And that's fine too. Hopefully it's intentionally designed and it's professional and polished. So either way, they're having like a, an elevated experience, even if it's not for them. That's the goal. So really thinking about that color, right? And just the elements of everything, and like the type of programming and how it's communicated. What language do you use? How do you coach people? How do you motivate them? What's your style? There's that. And then for fitness, in specifically group fitness, which is not easy to do, but it can be done, is Rochelle, you know a lot about this. I've talked about this with you, like flow states, right? Which we love,
Yeah.
right? And
We
that's the
love flow
sense,
state. Mhm.
right? That's you. Everybody knows what that's like. It's
Yeah.
that sense of like being connected to something greater, of being dialed in, focused, like purposeful,
Yeah.
like lit up. Like I could do this for hours.
Yeah. Such a
That
great feeling.
requires a balance of challenge and skill. So think about, go outside of fitness, right? And think about the things that you like can't wait to do.
Hmm.
Maybe it's puzzles, you know. Maybe it's like a some sports activity, maybe it's drawing, something that you like to do, going to restaurants, going to concerts. What is it that draws you in, right? But I think specifically for fitness, when you're doing a task, it has to be just challenging enough that you're like, ooh, like what what can I become? Like how can I get, this is interesting. So it keeps you engaged, but not so challenging that it breaks you. Because the
Yeah.
second that it breaks you and you hit frustration, especially as an adult, because it's not that we can't learn new things. It's we have a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
We have a
No.
lot of stuff going on,
Yeah.
right? And it is really, we don't want to feel broken. We don't want to feel like it's too hard.
We can't
So
afford
the
to. We have,
right,
our life would be put on hold if you were taken out for days at a time because of your workout.
exactly. So you have to find that place for them and help them find that crossroads where the challenge that you're providing meets their skill level. And that is the thing that will, it is missing. Most people are trying to do the hardest workouts or the
Hmm.
most creative workouts. And I just watched a video today. This lady's doing forearm cartwheels in a class. I don't know what's going on. Two people in the class are doing it. Two.
Oh
That's
no. Yeah.
no, 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 right? We got to
Yeah.
find ways. We need options for everybody, not just because our certifications tell us so,
Yeah.
because that is the thing that gets people to come back. It's challenging, but it's achievable. I feel engaged, but I don't feel broken. And that comes from your program design and also how your instructors are coached to lead people through the program. And that is absolutely vital. So you could have an amazing class, in a basement, in a dungeon, and people will come back if
Yeah.
you think about like, right, make them feel seen. Think about the senses. So not only the things that draw you in, the things that are gonna push you away. You got bad sound, like with reverb, people aren't
Hmm.
gonna like that. You got a squeaky AC, fix it. You've got a bunch of junk in the corner, clear it out. Like
Yeah.
you've got to think about creating a space where they can get immersed, a space that they want to come back to, a space that feels different from life outside. Otherwise, they're just gonna do a 20-minute workout in their living room. Why
No,
not? It's
absolutely.
free on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with so much content out there, where you just, pick any gym influencer program off of TikTok. You can go to the gym and do it yourself. It has to be delivering something deeper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Barry, anything to add to that?
No, Shay
Yeah.
nailed it.
Okay, perfect. Because my next question goes to you then. For people that are maybe listening to this, and I think a lot of fitness instructors, like we talked about at the beginning of our episode here, is they maybe like have a passion for a certain type of fitness or workout themselves. They think, okay, great, I'm going to open a studio. I'm going to open a Pilates studio, spin studio, yoga studio, whatever it is. For that person that's listening here today, before they, get too caught up in selling the workout that's worked so well for them, I guess, what is one piece of advice, or maybe we can talk more in terms of steps, like first steps to determine their North Star, to kind of like rein it in and like force them to refocus before they even think about starting to open or find a space or any of those logistical pieces?
That's such a great question. And that is 100% the place to start. And I know it's hard because when you have that passion and you're ready to open a studio, the first thing that you want to do is go register a domain, go get a logo
Oh,
made,
so guilty.
come up with a color palette, right? Because
We've all done it.
that's the fun stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I have so many
But
domains registered to myself.
I know we all do.
We do too,
For
by
the
the
one
way.
day, yeah.
We've done that, and we still it's like, oh, an idea. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
We can't resist it. But what's really powerful to begin to understand is what is driving that decision in the first place. And a question I always like to start with is, well, it's more of a statement. You're best equipped to serve the person that you once were. So who is the person that you once were? And why did you fall in love with the type of workout that you love so much right now? Let's really go back and begin to break that down. How did it make you feel? How did it begin to change your life? And that connects to what I was talking about earlier. And I remembered the term now.
Yay!
It's called the curse of knowledge, right? Over all this time and over learning so much about your modality, you forget about what it is like to be a beginner. And this is where your story begins, right? This is how you begin to position your workout as the perfect vehicle or the perfect prescription to the destination you want to take people on. Maybe you, by going back to the beginning again, begin to understand that adopting this type of movement gave you confidence to get out of a toxic relationship or to ask for a promotion, right? And that confidence changed the course of your entire life, right? But that confidence came from lifting really heavy weights, Olympic style. And you never thought you could do something like that before, but your recognition that you could do hard things, that you were stronger than you realized, watching your name climb up a wall in the studio as you achieved new things gave you this sense of pride and this sense of confidence that changed the entire trajectory of your life. It's not Olympic lifting necessarily, it's your relationship to it. So we have to understand what that is, and then you can start to craft everything around that, from the design of your space to your logo, to your domain name, to the name of your space, to how the experience of the class is designed to ensure that you are helping people gain confidence in themselves, find strength that they didn't know you had. Once you have that North Star, everything you do, how you talk about your business becomes so much easier. And that is 100% the place to start.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I could just listen to both of you guys talk all day. And I have, in fact, listened to you guys talk for hours. And this is why I pay you to do it, because you guys are great. But unfortunately, almost conversations must eventually come to an end. So we have one question that we ask to all of our guests at the end of each show. And we're going to ask it to both of you now. And that is, what excites you about the future of the fitness industry the most?
Well, if we have anything to say about it, what excites us is seeing studios turn into destinations that people seek out. I just saw that, Project Hail Mary is very popular in the theaters right now, and there are people that are driving 20, 30 minutes, maybe longer, to go see it in an IMAX theater. Or there are people who love Michelin star restaurants and will travel across the world to have that experience. And we want to see the same with fitness businesses, that if people really identify with the mission, they're going to want to seek out that experience.
Yeah, same. I think I want to see group fitness in particular on the same list. If you were to look at a mall directory as an example, right? I want to see the studios under movie theater, bowling, right? Instead of I don't know, health and beauty, or something you need to fix about yourself, something you look forward to, something that brings you joy. And I think I'm also really excited to see big fitness events and festivals come back. Back in the day, Propel, we would put on these big events, and just the nature of the world, right? That kind of dwindled, and then it felt kind of overwhelming to bring that back. And people are seeking that out, that sense of they really want to feel like they belong, and this is just a joyful part of your life, and something to look forward to. A lot of our clients are doing their own festivals, working with somebody who's doing something outside Bottle Rock in Napa, and I want to see more of that. I want to see activations, fitness and wellness activations alongside other things we also enjoy.
Yeah, it's happening. It's we actually just had, I know you're familiar with John Summit, huge DJ right now, and he just had his big experts only, his labels party out here in Whistler, right outside Vancouver, and huge activation with Lululemon. They were doing Pilates inside. They did a whole workout activation. Then they had the party outside skiing, and it's happening. starting
and
to,
it's been happening and it's been around
yeah,
since forever, but I want to see more. I want to
Yeah.
see
yeah,
more and more and more.
yeah.
And like I said, it's a choice. This weekend, are we going to the concert in Red Rocks, or are we going to go to the one where we also get to do Pilates over at whatever? Like I want to see it as a choice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you both so much for sharing everything. I think there's a ton of takeaways from this episode that people will find helpful. But if people want to work with you deeper, or if they want to find you guys online, you guys share a ton of amazing content. You have little master classes. Actually, I was going to sign up for your playlisting one.
Yeah,
Shay has one coming up on how to build playlists. So if you are somebody who has a studio and you have instructors, if you see this in time, episode might not come out
I
yet.
do it a couple times a year. Just
Oh, okay.
come find me and follow me.
Yeah.
I do master classes every month. I run challenges for instructors. Barry
Yeah.
does master classes for studio owners. So connect with us. We're doing them all the time.
And where can they find
Absolutely.
you? Is it
Fitcarma.com.
at
Right.
fitcarma.com? Okay.
Yep, there's an events page there. Follow us on social media at Fitcarma. That's with a C H Q FITCARMAHQ. And get on our newsletter so that you're the first to know. We send out text alerts when we're doing something cool. And we have a podcast as well, so you can get to know us better there and listen to us talk for another 200 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I initially came to hear of you guys, was through your podcast, and your podcast is great as well, packed with tons of knowledge. And it's Fit Karma, just the Fit Karma podcast.
Yes,
That's
Is that
right.
correct?
everything is
Yeah.
Fitcarma. Yeah.
Yeah. So find us anywhere. If you're a studio owner and you are thinking to yourself, man, I got to talk to them, go to fitkarma.com/northstar and you can book a fit call with us to see if we'd be a good fit to work together.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show today. Make sure you follow us for more episodes just like this, and we will see you next time.